Up next on The Reveal.
He basically was like, if it moved, it could kill me.
A Georgia woman says she has a ticking time bomb in her body.
Because I trusted that they felt whatever they were going to use was safe.
Why she blames the FDA.
Well, I don't even know what you're talking about as far as like, Braves and I have a great relationship.
But the documents show otherwise. Why the Braves in Cobb County are at odds. A dispute that could cost taxpayers millions of dollars.
I was on cloud nine. I really thought this was the guy.
She was wrong. A romance scam that cost her thousands of dollars. And she was not his only victim. The Reveal begins now with investigators Faith Abube and Brendan Keefe.
Welcome to The Reveal, a show dedicated to life-changing investigations. A Georgia woman says a medical device implanted in her body feels like a ticking time bomb.
That's because the medical device broke apart inside her body, and she's not the only one making similar claims. You might think that medical devices have to undergo human testing before they're surgically implanted. But you'd be wrong.
We're gonna keep you calm.
Sherry Booker is the type of person who wears her heart on her sleeve.
Well, it's beating fast because I'm nervous, but I'm okay today.
Okay.
Today's a good day.
In 2014, though, the Loganville resident's heart nearly stopped for good. After suffering from chest and abdominal pain for years, her doctor ordered her a CT scan and x-rays.
And he said, well, I want to talk to you. I want to show you something. And I was like, is that my heart? And he's like, yeah, let's talk about that.
This is Booker's actual x-ray. You see that spider-looking white silhouette? It's a blood filter implanted in her body in 2007, but it wasn't where it was supposed to be. It also showed a piece of it broken and lodged in her heart.
He basically was like, if it moved, it could kill me. I only had a certain amount of time to get to the doctor from to crack my chest open to do immediate open heart surgery.
Doctors told Booker she originally needed the filter because she had blood clots in the past. The filter is a 1.5-inch wire metal trap placed in the largest vein in the body to block clots from reaching the heart and lungs, where they could be fatal.
I trusted that they felt whatever they were going to use was safe.
But an investigation by The Reveal uncovered the filter's maker, C.R. Bard, never proved it was safe for long-term human use before cleared by the Food and Drug Administration. That's because the agency doesn't require companies to put their devices through long-term human trials if a substantially similar product already exists. This is the filter implanted in Booker. Here's the one Bard submitted to the FDA claiming it was substantially similar.
If you even look at it, you can see they don't look alike.
Robin Laurie is one of Booker's attorneys.
They changed the whole design of the device.
As early as 2005, the FDA knew about more than 921 complications from all filters it's cleared from all manufacturers. And in 2016, NBC News uncovered 27 deaths linked to Bard filters. To this day, the FDA has never required the company to do one human trial on the type of filter implanted in Booker.
The FDA doesn't do any testing, and I think that's a misperception that people have.
Bard declined interview requests. Instead, a spokesperson wrote in part, "Our company fully complies with all regulations from the FDA surrounding safety and efficacy testing. We understand that a small percentage of patients required additional interventions, but it is important to note that the filter helped protect these patients from the life-threatening effects of blood clots."
Even the highest risk implantable cardiac devices, the overwhelming majority of them have never been subjected to clinical testing.
Jen Linzer is a physician assistant and author of The Danger Within Us, which details the risks of the medical device approval process.
So we've got a market full of devices where we really don't know which ones are deadly and which ones are really life-saving.
I think there should be a requirement that a new product undergo clinical testing in real people.
That sounds kind of like a no-brainer.
Yes.
The FDA also declined interview requests. Instead, a spokesperson pointed out the 2 letters it released in 2010 and 2014, warning consumers about reports of complications. But the FDA ultimately concluded that physicians are responsible for the ongoing care of patients with retrievable IVC filters.
Picture of me in the ICU.
It took 2 surgeries to remove the piece of filter in Booker's heart, but a piece near her abdomen doctors couldn't remove feels like a ticking time bomb.
So I suffer every day, wondering if that piece is gonna get loose and travel to my heart and kill me. The FDA's part is to make sure that these companies report properly, do proper testing. Hey, you have a device that's gonna save someone's life? Prove it the right way. Don't go behind these back doors of these predicate devices.
So where does Ms. Booker's case stand right now in court?
So a jury has awarded her $3.6 million. Bard is appealing.
Andy, if you already have one of these filters implanted inside of you, it's got to be desperate. What do you do?
It's complicated. Experts suggest that you get x-rays and scans done, but Bard isn't paying for any of it.
Up next on The Reveal.
It's almost like a cat fight, you know.
When I read the documents, I got angrier and angrier.
The Braves in Cobb County are playing hardball, but it's taxpayers who may ultimately lose. If you have a news tip or a comment on one of our investigations, email us at thereveal@11alive.com. The controversial deal that brought the Atlanta Braves to Cobb County continues to haunt taxpayers more than a year after SunTrust Park opened. According to documents obtained exclusively by the 11 Alive investigators, there are still details of the agreement that put taxpayers on the hook for more money towards the stadium. And not even members of the county board, which approved the deal, are aware. Hit the music. Cue the smiles and the high fives. This was the scene of the 2014 groundbreaking ceremony for SunTrust Park Stadium. It pretty much embodies the relationship Cobb County commissioners and the Braves have presented to the public since signing a 30-year public-private agreement to build a $600 million ballpark.
The vote carries 4-1. Commissioner Cooper voted against.
It was an off-speed pitch to taxpayers.
We think we're getting a great value for our dollar.
Despite community pushback, commissioners approved nearly $400 million in taxpayer-backed bonds to help pay for the Braves Stadium.
I'm asking you to please leave the room.
And now the Braves want even more money. According to documents obtained by the 11 Alive investigators, the Braves are now asking for $4.6 million they say taxpayers still owe them. Here's the breakdown according to their lawyers. The balance on the Transportation Improvement Fund, a building permit fee refund, a refund for project management costs, and their legal fees. The tone of the Braves' demand letter, so inflammatory in its response, the county called it improper and unprofessional. This Braves-Cobb County dispute started back in May when the county sent this letter notifying the team of an overdue bill of $1.4 million. It's money the county says the Braves owe taxpayers in water and sewer development fees. But Cobb County Chairman Mike Boyce says, what dispute?
I have no idea. But I don't even know what you're talking about as far as like, the Braves and I have a great relationship.
I have the documents right here where your own lawyers, the county's lawyers, are saying that the Braves are acting in an unprofessional manner. They're not acting in good faith.
Again, I'm not going to comment on something that's under litigation.
Don't you think the taxpayers deserve to know that this is happening?
And that's why we have courts of law, so that we can just talk about these things in an open court.
Well, there's only one problem. According to the documents, the county entered into private mediation with the Braves.
It's not private. Mediation is always, open to both sides.
Again, here it is in black and white in the letter the county lawyers sent to the Braves.
It's a public-private partnership.
But you decided you agreed to enter into a private mediation, which means taxpayers won't find out until the deal is done.
Well, I guess you can color it any way you want to.
We show the documents to some of Cobb County's most outspoken taxpayers on the stadium deal.
It's almost like a cat fight,
Larry Savage is a former candidate for commission chair who recently brought an ethics complaint against commissioners involved in the deal.
You got a smiley face over here and everybody's kumbaya, and on the other side, knives are being sharpened.
When I read the documents, I got angrier and angrier.
Richard Pellegrino and Ben Williams are with the activist group Citizens for Governmental Transparency in Cobb County.
And now, to find in the inbox an alleged IOU of $4 million.
It's an insult to injury.
But this is, wow.
And just like the others, Kennesaw State University economist J.C. Bradbury is apparently shocked by the tone and timing of the letters. The Braves-Cobb County money dispute comes as the county is already facing major revenue shortfalls.
And one of the things that sort of irritates me as a taxpayer is the Braves got a $300 million subsidy. And they're arguing over very small amounts relative to what they got. Can they not at least be gracious enough to admit, hey, we got a pretty nice deal here. We've got a nice new stadium, but it just seems to be in bad taste.
And just days after our investigation revealed the secret legal dispute, the Braves had a change of heart.
I move that the board...
They've dropped their multi-million-dollar demand for more taxpayer money and agreed to pay all outstanding bills, including the $1.4 million bill that started this legal fight. In return, the county accepts that it owes the Braves $500,000 in project management costs, even though some commissioners raised concerns that they didn't have proof taxpayers owe that money.
And to this moment right now, I do not see any written substantiation to show how the county is still obligated.
Do we have a date, an amount, and a check number, or documentation to prove that?
I should not feel rushed. I should not feel pressure to get answers that I have had outstanding from an executive meeting to rush on something of this magnitude.
The board went ahead and approved the agreement, which netted taxpayers $1.3 million.
Coming up on The Reveal.
It's around $200,000.
Is that your life savings?
Everything I had.
He preyed on their hearts to gain access to their money.
I was on cloud nine. I really thought this was the guy.
For nearly a decade, he crisscrossed the nation posing as a war hero, gaining the trust of vulnerable women.
The so-called romance scammer was first exposed by our investigators in Minneapolis. That reporting finally caught up to him.
The long wait for justice, now just steps away inside this federal courthouse in Texas.
Can't really believe it.
Joanne, Linda, and Missy traveled from Minnesota to join this group of women and stare down Derek Aldred, the fake war hero who they say stole their hearts, their money, their trust.
And it was like about time. It's time.
They knew him by different names.
He was Richard Derek Peterson.
When Linda met Aldred in 2016, he was posing as a Navy SEAL.
The Purple Heart, Silver Star.
Eventually, she says, gaining access to her accounts and cleaning them out.
It's around $200,000.
Is that your life savings?
Everything I had.
He used the same identity with Missy.
Which he wore these all the time.
Years earlier, Joanne says he claimed he was a lawyer named Derek Alarat.
I was on cloud nine. I really thought this was the guy.
And opened a credit card in her name to pay for a luxe trip to Hawaii.
I was just devastated.
Before that, records show he allegedly conned a Minnesota doctor, sticking her with a bill at the St. Paul Hotel. And worse, she said in court, taking money from her medical practice, destroying it. And there are others. For more than a decade, Derek Aldred crisscrossed the country, meeting women online who say he stole from them and usually got away with it. KARE 11 heard from women in Hawaii, California, Nevada, Arizona, Minnesota, until finally in Texas, he made his ultimate mistake.
You know, don't mess with Texas, don't mess with Dory.
Trying to scam Dory while posing as a Navy pilot. She found our stories and the other women determined to bring Aldred down.
I vowed that day, it's got to stop.
This time, police took action, walking Aldred to jail in handcuffs and forwarding the case to federal Navy investigators.
Most of the women have felt neglected by the justice system. It was time to do my job and try to bring Derek to justice.
NCIS Special Agent Mike Elkier says in 15 years, he's never seen a con man quite as convincing as Derek Aldred.
It's all an act, and he's really good at it. And I think this is the reason why he's gotten away so long.
Until now. The victims cried as the judge sentenced Derek Aldred to 24 years in prison, the maximum. And the judge said he wished he could give him more. There he is. Aldred walking out of court and into a prison sentence that will put him behind bars until he's 73.
Justice.
We were asking to protect women from him.
Finally, justice. We were all heard.
Heard and now ready to move on.
I think this is a new chapter to new beginnings for our lives.
Many still trying to repair the damage. But knowing this fake war hero's days of preying on women are over. In Sherman, Texas, Lauren Lemanchek, KARE 11 Investigates.
Our investigator Lauren Lemanchek followed the trial of the phony war hero for nearly 2 years. Lauren joins us now with more insight into what led to his arrest and conviction.
It was remarkable to be in court and see Derek Aldred in the same room with so many women who say he lied to them and scammed them. In part because so many of them have been in contact for years, working together to hold him accountable. They credit their activism, our stories, and dedicated investigators who they say finally took them seriously with bringing Aldred to justice. Now, Aldred never looked up at the women, but he did apologize. The case is now generating national attention. Many of the victims will appear in a planned 2-hour-long feature documentary. For The Reveal, I'm Lauren Lemanchek.
If you have a news tip or a comment on one of our investigations, email us at thereveal@11alive.com.
Turn around.
No.
Turn around.
Our investigations have impact.
Is there a reason why you won't talk with me?
You've recently been indicted.
This is on the record.
Change laws.
We're going to look to see where maybe we need to change the laws.
Don't you think someone needs to be held accountable for this?
I don't have any comments on that, sir.
Expose crimes. Crimes that lead to murder indictments.
We would not be able to prosecute this case without that video.
See the 11 Alive investigators change the face of local news.
I'm Rebecca Lindstrom. Next week on The Reveal.
Have you paid everyone that you've done business with?
I'm running late, so.
That's a yes/no question. It's pretty quick to answer.
We confronted this estate sale business owner after her clients claimed she was selling their stuff and keeping the money.
How much have you been paid for your mother's sale?
Nothing.
Nothing. Zero.
Zero.
But at what point in time does violating a civil contract become a pattern that shows a criminal act?
Well, unfortunately, being a bad person is not illegal. You have someone, in essence, and based on what I see, is stealing in plain sight.
So why can't they arrest her? We go undercover in our search for accountability next week on The Reveal.
You've been watching The Reveal, a show fueled by investigations that have impact.
And for more information on our investigations, visit our website at 11alive.com. We'll see you next week on The Reveal.